Good evening, this is John Young with the DJNTV. We're coming to you Sunday night live after the game. I wanted to share a few things. We've got a few questions for the week. We'll hit those, and then truthfully, we're going to make this short because this week, if you are following the DJ industry, you're going to be following a lot of our videos. And that actually comes to my first question, is this week is NAMM, N-A-M-M, the National Association of Musical Merchants or something like that. Anyway, we're in Anaheim, California, starting Wednesday, and we're going to be looking at everything that's new in the music industry. That takes me through guitars and all drums and everything there. But more importantly for us is lighting, pro sound and pro audio, and of course anything that's cool that's somewhat related. So I will be at NAMM, and we're going to be shooting videos and putting those online for you, so you'll be able to see a lot of the cool things that are coming out for 2014. A lot of the stuff we're going to show you, you will see things actually that's prototype stuff. You will not see those anywhere else, for one thing. Secondly is some of the stuff we'll show you we'll never see again. That's just kind of cool thing, is we'll look at something and we'll shoot it. It's the prototype at their booth, and you'll never see it. That's kind of cool. But most of the time you'll see the stuff. It's really cool, and that's happening starting Wednesday. So you'll want to watch that. You can go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/discjockeynews. We'll have it there. You can go to our YouTube, which is youtube.com/discjockeynews. We'll be putting those videos up on both of those channels, so you can kind of keep up with that. We'll tweet from the show and get you some photos and such, trying to get some of those celebrities, because if you've ever been now, it's really cool. Lots of celebrities, lots of musicians. This year is going to have a little bit of a different take because they're really focusing on EDM, electric dance music. Now, for some of you who have been in that world for a while, you're probably thinking, yeah, the train's left. We had this cartoon we put up on our Facebook page, and the number of people who referred to basically the train has left and EDM is on its way out, well, that's for other people to decide, not myself, truthfully. But they're really focusing on that. And that's going to mean that there's going to be a difference in the gear that you're going to see at NAMM 2014. You're probably going to see more with the controllers, controlling computers. There's always a huge presence of computer software there. But I think you're going to see more software, more things that are meant for the guys who are spinning live in a club. It'll be cool. I'm really kind of looking forward to that idea. So anyway, the question that came in, of course, what is NAMM? And that's one of them. Then the second one that always comes up right behind it is, can I get in? Well, no. NAMM is an invitation-only type of event. Well, it's a membership only. Dealers from around the country, they are members of this merchant guild, we'll call it, and they can come in, and of course then you've got the manufacturers and exhibitors and such, and then you have people like ourselves who are the press. We can get in and show you those things, of course, and show you, but the general public, you can't get into NAMM. So in a nutshell, for those of you who've heard of it, you've seen our videos, seen the picture, and you're like, yeah, I'd love to get there. Well, unless you know somebody, sorry, it doesn't work. So that's NAMM. Again, starting Thursday. It actually starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but you're going to see some sneak peeks on Wednesday already, because they've got the press time, and I think I can get you in this year to show you some really cool stuff. So again, watch Central Time, probably about 2 o'clock Wednesday, after 2 o'clock Central Time. That'll be noon out there. Yeah, somewhere between 2 and 3. I bet I'll have my first little sneak peek for you from NAMM 2014. Secondly, this past week I've actually I had a gentleman. I talked to him a little bit about the situation, and this reminded me of another situation, and I went and called up another friend. A lot of you, of course, have talked or you've seen online where people have bought lighting directly from a different country, China specifically. You can do that. In a given week, I'll probably get 8 to 10 emails from different companies that are like, ooh, like our lights, give price list. Reply email for price list with horrible English. They're out there, and they will sell you fixtures. Generally, you can buy a sample or a few samples, and then the idea is that they want you to buy a larger set. I've had some friends who have done this type of purchasing, and the idea is that they've bought 10 with the hopes that 6 they can have 6 functional or something like that, because you're buying buying a light cheaper than you could probably buy it other ways, but there's no one standing behind it. Maybe some of them will, but most of the time the guys are basically, hey, I'm going to buy 10 and hope I have 60% ratio of what's working and what's not. The part that the gentleman who called this past week, what he was talking about is he bought the sample, he bought a couple of samples, found something he really liked from the company, and then he ordered a big order, multiple $1,000 order. Didn't hear back. Shipment never came. Didn't hear back. He tries emailing, doesn't hear. Tries doing some, he doesn't hear back. Basically, his money, because you have to wire your money out. You can't just like, credit card, PayPal type of thing. You're wiring your money out most of the time with these types of situations. The small orders came through, everything was fine. He was happy. The big order, they're gone. So, buyer beware. Truthfully, I don't do that. I go to my local dealers, or I go to the conventions, and I'm buying from some dealers that I know. The supporters of the Disc Jockey News. You got IDJ Now, Music Trends, NLFX Pro, Metro Sound and Light, all reputable companies. And what's really nice about that is if I buy a light and it doesn't work, it's DOA, well, I just give them a call and they will get it replaced, and life is good. And I have a light that works. If you're taking your chances in other situations, yeah, not so much. Another aspect of that is when you're buying direct from the manufacturers like that are maybe sketchy, maybe not, doesn't matter in this one, but they don't do a whole lot to support the DJ industry. When you're looking at some of the reputable companies that are in our publication and other publications, they're there, they're at the conventions. As an example, you've got two of the big ones, American ADJ and Chauvet DJ. Both of those are going to have free educational seminars coming up at Mobile Beat and Mobile Beat Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. They're putting their money back into the industry to help you get better. So truthfully, if I had to choose between buying that light here or a similar version here that's a knockoff, yeah, I'm going to buy the light from the manufacturer and the dealer who support the industry. That's my thought on that. So anyway, the big thing is, in both of those cases, with the friend I called and a gentleman who called this past week, small orders went through fine. The big orders, once they placed it, the money was gone. Never heard back. They could not get a hold of the company. So again, buyer beware with that. Next one. Let's see. I got two more questions I want to cover. One is younger DJs. A couple of them have been talking about hearing loss. And I've talked about this in some of the videos. Now that I've been in this industry for 25 years, I truthfully can tell you that I have had hearing damage. My hearing isn't as good as it was. I will have ringing in the ears at night, especially after an event. And as much as I've tried over the years to do things, the damage was done. Probably another part of that is at one time, like a lot of us did in high school, we ran lawn mowing businesses. We were out mowing neighbors, whatever. Ear protection. So first off, as parents, train your kids whenever they're going to mow lawn, whenever they're going to do something like that, to wear some sort of hearing protection. Whether it's the little foamy things or the little plugs or whatever, train your children to wear protection early. Okay, with that being said, now I'm a young DJ. How do I do this? First thing I would make sure I do is I would get a good pair of earplugs. I've got, where are they? I guess they're not even here. I took them to some other place. I've got a really cool, fairly inexpensive pair of earplugs that have the filters on them. So you can put those in and they will filter. They take it probably down about 3 to 6 dB, but the sound isn't muffled, which is a huge thing. If you've used the foam ones, you put it in, it muffles the sound. It helps if you're like at a monster truck rally thingy, but for music playback, not so cool if you need to be communicating with people. So I found the ones that have that 3 to 6 to 9 dB. I've got some custom earplugs I had made. Works wonderfully. And I can still hear voices. Basically what those do is they take whatever the sound is in the room, whether it's the boom, boom, boom or the highs, it just takes all the sound down. So if your music was here and the kid coming to scream a request at you was here, what it's doing is it's just taking them both down together, if you follow me here. So it's not like it's cutting the screaming kid request out more, and it's not, it's just pulling everything down. So really, with good quality earplugs, you're going to be able to hear the same ratios and such. It's just that it's bringing everything down a little bit. The only time you're going to really have problems is, of course, at lower volumes. When you're wearing earplugs during an event, a lot of guys don't like that because, I can't hear as well. You get used to it. I find that when I'm doing that type of show, I spend more time watching meters on how loud I am. You get a feel for it. You're not going to feel, it's not going to feel as loud in your ear, but it's well worth it. Second thing I would do is I would get a really good pair of headphones. You can go out and you can get some cheaper headphones. You can go out and get some nicer ones. One headphone that's really hot right now is the V-Moda headphones. They've got a really nice one out there. American Audio's got some pretty good headphones out there that'll get you going if you are kind of on a tighter budget. But really, you want to put some money into the headphones. You're not going to buy a $20 pair of headphones. You're going to want to spend a little bit more to get some that have a decent noise canceling ability. So when you're holding it and you've got it up here, that it's canceling the outside noise, so you don't have to have this turned up as loud in a queue. That's huge, because if you've had some cheap headphones, or I've even seen DJs, earbuds. Well, when you've got an earbud in, you're getting all that sound. There's just no way even cupping your hand to block out the outside, so this has to be even louder. And by the way, this is another thing. If you have children, I wouldn't let them use earbuds virtually at all. I would get a nice pair of headphones for your children, younger children who are using headphones. Earbuds, get it in there, and just not so good. And again, the ambient noise comes in, there's issues. They make some really nice ones that can either block out all ambient noise, and you can keep the volume lower, or you get headphones that they can use. Like my boys use headphones, some of the good quality DJ headphones, when they're playing some of their games and are on Skype with their friends while they're playing these games or whatever they're doing. I don't know. Goodness gracious, it's crazy. Finally, the last one is one as a multi-system DJ, a lot of us have had this issue. It's you've got multi-system on Saturday and the DJs are going out and they're doing their thing, and you've got an event that goes and you touch base after the event, usually on the way home, what have you now, and the DJ's like, yeah, it was okay, but yeah. And beforehand, you've talked to the bride and groom, and you just have this uneasy feeling about them. Some of the demands are coming. You're leery about how this is going to go. Monday comes, you get the letter, which has now become an email, basically saying that your DJ could be any number of things. We thought it was going to be someone at your quality, and it wasn't, or your DJ didn't play this song and he said he was going to, or your DJ didn't do this and he said he was. Any number of things. A couple of points you will find in these letters. Sometimes they're completely accurate. I mean, many times there's somewhere, the absolute truth is somewhere in the middle, usually, between what your DJ is going to give you for their perspective of what happened and the couple's idea. Many times I've found, again, we'll have the couple here and the DJ. Let's move it here. So here's the DJ story and here's the couple story. I've found that over the time, generally my DJs are much more accurate than the bride and groom. There have been a couple of occasions where they've seen, I've had some DJs that hadn't been with me very long and were fired shortly thereafter, where the bride and groom they observed and they were exactly right. Most of the time, it's been the perception and such of what the bride and groom saw compared to the DJ, or the story I got from the bride and groom compared to the DJ were not even close. You'll find some people out there when you're doing multi-system who will hire with the idea from day one that they're going to complain because this is what they do to get money back. In my 20-some years of being a multi-system, 20 to 25 times that's happened where there was something fishy. They sent the letter and it seemed to be too polished in their arguments. So I spend a little time. I've called photographers and said, hey, Joe's Photography, Saturday night when you guys were working with their wedding, did you go? Yeah, you'd be surprised how many times you make that call to that photographer, they got the same letter. Oh, your photographer didn't do the job and he didn't get the pictures we wanted, and we had this checklist and he didn't look at. Yeah, there's some folks out there that this is what they do. There's also a group of folks out there who are professional check bouncers. That's going to be a story for another time, because I've actually run into two of those in my career as a DJ. Professional check bouncers, bad news. But anyway, getting back to it, there's some couples who are going to complain, and their idea is that they want to get money back from every vendor. The one at the extreme case I personally had, they complained about the DJ, so I called the photographer. They complained about the photographer. Well, now we got to keep going. They complained about the decorator. They complained about the venue. The staff, the bar staff, the food, and the wait staff. They complained about pretty much every aspect of their wedding that we were, beyond the church. I guess I didn't check. They could have complained about the pastor too, or whatever. That was the way they operated. Hope they've gotten over that. God bless them, because life's going to be miserable, and they're going to have like a trail of destruction behind them and burning a lot of bridges. But they were, in essence, we'll call them professional complainers. Most couples aren't that way, but you'll have some that will be unhappy about something. I had one parent that had complained about a show years ago, and the parent was complaining about some of the things. Turns out they weren't mad at us, and what they were mad about is actually the photographer messed up. But the photographer was a female and my DJ was female, and they mistaken the two. And they were blaming my DJ for some of the rudeness that the photographer was showing. I don't understand how she could mess the two up because they were dressed differently. I actually saw the pictures of some of the pictures from the event. They looked completely different. They were dressed differently, and the photographer was with them throughout the ceremony. So I don't understand how, but the mother was very upset about some things, and she blamed it on my DJ, and my DJ was certainly not to be blamed for anything. So anyway, getting back though, when you get that letter, you've got the first thing you need to do is acknowledge that you've received the email. Let's call it, it's not a letter, an email nowadays. Thank you for your concern. I need to investigate this. I will be back to you after I talk to so-and-so. I will be back to you. You will hear again from me, if it's Monday, by Wednesday noon, I will get back to you with where I'm at or how things are going. Generally, you need a little bit of time because you're going to need to talk to the DJ and follow it up. I try to do two things actually when I've done this. I try to talk to the DJ and find out what happened. There were some concerns here, and I just need to we need to address these concerns and find out exactly did these things happen? Sometimes things happen beyond our control. I've been in this 25 years, and I've had times where things have happened. Gear glitched at the absolute worst possible time. And they can say, yeah, that we were going to do that fun dance with the kids, and all of a sudden the songs, I hit the wrong button, and it went from, halfway in the middle of this, instead of me putting something in queue, I maybe fast forward, whatever. Things happen, so you got to check it out. But generally, I give them the, I'm going to do that. Talk to the DJ, find out theirs, and I take notes because notes when you get to this point, and talk about each and an individual point, The DJ didn't play our requests. Great. Well, let's go back to the list. Most of us are at computer nowadays, so we can generate the list of what was played and the list that we're given ahead of time if they gave you one. So you can compare that and be able to say, yes, you know what, all of the song requests were played. So that, answering these questions. Another one is mispronunciation of names. That one's tough. Unless you have video proof one way or the other, it's going to be, one way or the other. Whose side are you going to take? Generally, though, I've had DJs who have mispronounced names, and they've been readily, to fess up to that and say, you know what, I did mess it up, and I apologized, and I corrected myself. And you know what, we're human. You would love to say you're not going to call them Smythe instead of Smith, but silly things happen, especially when you have someone talking to you just before you're introducing them, and you get off. So anyway, you need to check it out with the DJ, and then you need to weigh it out once you find out. Is this a situation where a nice apology and maybe a certificate to a restaurant is in order? Is it a time where you need to send money back, or is it a time to basically say, hey, pound pavement? Our DJ did the job. They did exactly what was, and I'm sorry you feel the way you do, but it looks like everything was done as contract specified, and from what I'm seeing of the pictures, it looks great. Here's a little tip. If you're multi-system, have your DJs take pictures and shoot video, especially pictures where the dance floor, at different times of the night, early, like generally I like to have my DJs take a picture every 15 minutes. Picture of the dance floor, picture of the dance floor. And if the bride and groom are out there, picture of them. Mom and dad are out there, picture of them. Those pictures later when, no one was on the dance floor. Wait a second, I've got 15 pictures here showing the dance floor is pretty much full. And by time codes, this is kind of cool with digital, that was all night long. I'm looking at an 11:40 picture, and I count 25 people out on your dance floor, and it looks like the dance floor is full. Smaller weddings. So pictures are a big thing. I've actually encouraged some of my DJs, if they can, to pull out their smartphone and shoot a video when people are out there dancing and hooting and hollering and going crazy, especially if it was a song that was requested. 9 chances out of 10, you're never going to use any of this more than maybe to talk to the DJ and review later and say, hey, look, you got some really fun pictures. Maybe we can use them for promotion. But at one time, when you have someone who calls and says, no one was on it, I didn't get on a dance floor once. Really, I've got 5 pictures of you as, Miss Bride or Mrs. Bride. I've got 5 pictures of you on the dance floor and it looks like you're having a great time. So again, you get the proof, collect all your information, then you can get back to them with one of the options, whether it's just a sorry you felt this way. Here's go out to dinner on us, and life is good. Here's some money back. We didn't fulfill our end of the deal. Here's a level of money back. The money back guarantee is a great thing if you like. I can offer that when I'm doing my personal show because I feel confident enough in my skills to be able to do whatever I need to do to make it so it's fabulous. Or I can save it from being not fabulous, whatever. I'm confident with that. I don't know if I want to put that kind of pressure on a staff member. Some DJ companies do that, and it works well. There's just undue stress that I've had with DJs, and I don't know if I want to put that on them. So, money back, or basically, go. If you tell them to pound pavement, what could happen? Well, there's this thing, there's this rip-off, the websites where you can report rip-offs. They may do that. They may go to the Knot or Wedding Wire or somewhere like that and bash you. Some will, and most of the time, they're not going to go too far. They may tell all their friends. Well, yeah, that might in their group of friends, but truthfully, if they're the type of person who's a professional complainer, they first off probably don't have as much influence as they think they do. And secondly, is if they're a professional complainer, yeah. Not as many friends. No one really pays attention to them. So don't be afraid if the situation's right and your DJ hasn't messed up to tell them, I'm sorry. You're out of line, and I'm really sorry that something beautiful like your wedding day is going to be, you're going to let this bother you. When we did exactly what we were contracted to do, and we did it to the best of our ability. You'll get to times though when, let's look at another situation. Bride and groom, things were going well, and the DJ was coming up. It's time to get the garter and a bouquet going. The bride and groom says, no. Oh my gosh, the crowd's going crazy. Let's just skip it. No problem. Dollar dance is supposed to be a little bit later. She wanted to do that. Let's throw out, an hour and a half in. She wanted to do the dollar dance at about that time, and the DJ, touch base and say, we maybe get the dollar dance. Maybe we'll get to that in about 10 minutes or so. Are you guys pretty much ready, and do you have your, you go freshen up a little bit? Bride and groom is like, no, we aren't going to do dollar dance. This crowd is dancing. We're having too great of a time. So the DJ, basically, after their first spotlight dances, dance all night long. Just slow dance, fast dance, and dance all night long. We got a call on Monday. Your DJ didn't do these special activities that we really wanted. Okay. I thanked her and I took the notes, made some notes. I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'm going to be talking to the DJ this afternoon. Talked to the DJ. The DJ came in and said, yeah, I wanted to do these things, but the bride and groom said no. Go back to the bride and groom. Bride and groom says, no. We didn't say no. We wanted those done, and your DJ said that she wasn't going to do them because her dance floor was too full. I believe my DJ, because I worked with my DJ long enough to know that again, she was right, and this is exactly what was going on. So it was one of those times, it's like, wow, dude, this is not cool. My DJ told you that, and actually I knew this. I had talked to my DJ actually after the wedding, and she mentioned that the bride and groom didn't want to do those things. So it wasn't like she's making up a story to cover something. Yeah, some couples will blame their bad ideas on us. Some couples will get there on Monday and look at the checkbook and say, oh my gosh, we're not going to have enough money. We need to do something. And then they call, and there's motivations for it. Generally, there's a lot of them, and generally they're negative. A couple of times when they're complaining, they're legit. And there have been times where we've refunded money, and we've refunded a couple of times in substantial amounts or the whole amount. When we screwed up, you got to take responsibility for it, and you got to deal with it the proper way. But most of the time, in my experience, there have been, again, what the DJ perceived, what the couple are complaining about, the truth was over here somewhere, and most of the time the truth was right here where what the DJ perceived. And I've told more couples, sorry, Just, we're not going to refer you. Really? I don't know if your referral would have mattered that much in the first place. So don't let that referral thing scare you. You're running a business. Think literally, instead of the old "what would Jesus do?" What would one of your favorite businesses do? Yes, you got to treat the customers well, and you've got to listen to the customers, and you've got to be responsive to it. But if you got a customer who's out to hose you, that's one of the reasons why you'll find you can't return things at some stores like you used to. It's because enough customers have hosed some of the big stores that they're watching their back. So that's about it for tonight. We've got the big week again. We're going to be at NAMM starting Wednesday afternoon. You'll get videos. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're going to see cool videos. Then we'll be putting up the more in-depth interviews of these from the manufacturers. I'm going to be shooting the little teasers and just showing you these things. But then we're going to really get into next week the in-depth videos where we're going to talk about what this light can do, what it looks like. We're going to be seeing some of the same lights we saw at LDI. What's cool about NAMM is they now know more about the lights, and we're getting closer to a ship date on some of these lights. Some of these lights are now shipping, and it's fabulous because you can see it and you go, yes, I want it. Boom, you can buy it. Big week with that. Then coming up February 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, we'll be back in Las Vegas for Mobile Beat 18. We'll be bringing you a lot of video from Mobile Beat 18. We're actually going to be doing some cool things this year, and I can't let it out of the bag yet because this week we're going to finish it up. But we're going to be doing something at Mobile Beat 18 that has never been done before. And for those of you who aren't going, I feel bad because you'll miss out. But it's going to be a special treat for you if you're not going because, I'm not going to go into any more. So, but this is John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV with our Sunday night question time. If you have questions, send it to me at john@discjockeynews.com. Message our DJNTV Facebook or Disc Jockey News Facebook. Send messages to us, and we'll cover your messages or cover your questions. Actually, give you answers or at least my thoughts on it and some other guys' thoughts on it in our Sunday night videos. Again, this is John Young with the Disc Jockey News TV. Have a good evening.